morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are listening or watching this video from. I want to thank very sincerely everybody who commented on my video the last time. And I went through the comments and I felt it was necessary to throw more light on the position I made earlier as it borders on the global happenings in Africa and in Nigeria as an entity. If you listen to me very well on that video, you will understand that I made it very clear that I was not an exponent of military coup. I'm not somebody who will always project military coup as against civilian rule. That was not where I was coming from at all. If you listen to me very carefully, where I was coming from, I was looking at what has actually brought back military intervention in the African, or if you like, the West African regional enclave. That's where I was looking at it from. What has happened? What why the frustration? Because the things that possibly lead to coup, the things that possibly lead to toppling of government, so to speak, and most times are when people are frustrated and democracy per se, as they perceive it, has not been able to, you know, give them the actual change that they need. And if you also listen to me in that my video, I also made mention of William Ruto from Kenya, when I also said that William Ruto was an answer to the Kenyan question by the people, and which further gives a better understanding to the definition of democracy that says that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that is what I was trying to explain, that when democracy is no longer the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the people now begin to think of another alternative to impute, to reflect, to push through their yearn for positive change. Like I also said, that military doesn't mean it's the answer, because we have also seen situations like somebody said in my comment section that if you look at Nigeria and this military era, you will understand that military is part of the situation that we are suffering today. In as much as I will not totally agree, but again, I will also agree in certain area. What is that? There's something we must understand. We must understand that when certain military governments are not favoring the West, they tend to blackmail the regime. That is also part of it. And that's why I also made mention of Mama Gaddafi, may God rest his soul, the former head of state of Libya, that he was a military, he took over power as a military junta, and he brought about maximum development to the governance of Libya, that I even made mention that even the Libya, as at that time, that the Libya Human Development Index was ranking the same with that of Kuwait, with that of Dubai, and with that of Qatar. So if you look at these put together and you want to juxtapose in this argument, you will discover that there are areas where military governance did very well, and there are also areas where military governance did also do very well. But again, democracy has not been subjected to this kind of situation. Democracy have not been put in such a balance, in such a way that we will now begin to also estray the democratic precedent. Now, let's look at it. Nigeria got independence in 1960 and also became a republic in 1963. And when we look at 1963 independence, look at 1960 till 2000 till 1999, and we're also looking at 1999 to date. Let us find out how many years were we engulfed in military rule, and how many years now have we been in this democracy. Then let us, put side by side the development we have achieved, and at the end of the day, we should be able to also tell ourselves where have we got into and all of that. So it's because for me, it's not about military or civilian rule. The process of a democratic system. That's why I was mentioning that for us to have a sound democratic system, we need to have the institutions working. Now, the institutions, we talk about institutions that is so strong in a manner that can deal with corruption headlong, can deal with corruption decisively, in such a manner that certain individual in a particular system will not be bigger than the system. When you have a democratic government where the institutions are in line with what democracy is all about, you discover that everybody and nobody will be above the law. But a situation where you say that we practice democracy and the institutions are so weak, and there are certain individuals and elements who is bigger than the law, who certain institutions cannot persecute, then at that point, that begins to breed